Words simply cannot express the excitement we here at ReedPop TV have in introducing our next guest, a man who quite simply needs no introduction. I'm speaking, of course, of one of the true architects of modern comics, the most profitable film producer in film history, the man whose writing and editorial style defined what historians call the Marvel Age of comics. I'm speaking, of course, of the man, the myth, the legend. Please welcome Stan Lee.
Excelsior! Thank you, mutant lovers! You know, I keep telling the Oscar committee to put in a category for Best Cameo, but I think they're afraid I'd win every year.
I know Marvel's taken over Hollywood and proven to be an unprecedented box office commodity, Stan, but I'm kind of curious about what you're doing these days.
Well, I have a company I'm very proud of called POW, Purveyors of Wonder, as you all know. We've currently got a number of properties developing for film, for TV, and for comics. And you know, I was thinking, why not develop a character for China? Purveyors of Wonder,
I actually didn't know about that, Stan. What does a purveyor do exactly, can I ask?
Oh, you silly person, you. Everybody knows, everyone knows a purveyor. A purveyor is, like a coal miner. Yeah, that's the ticket,
I see.
So hey, think of it this way. It's like they're mining the coal of my mind to give out diamonds to all the wonderful little fans. Hey, I've still got it. Gil, did you take that one down? Nuff Said.
Right. So you've been a guest numerous times at ReedPop events, going back to the very beginning. I'm hoping it's a cinch to say you've always enjoyed meeting the fans at ReedPop events, because they've certainly enjoyed seeing you.
ReedPop was just remarkable. He was one of the best artists on the bullpen. I remember I could give him a script, and he'd always do such a remarkable job. It really made it easier for me when it was time to fill out the dialogue and the sound effects. I loved working with Reed. He made my scripts always look so wonderful.
Wait, Stan, who are you talking about?
You asked about ReedPop, obviously one of the fabled bullpen of yonder. I was so lucky to work with such a great stable of artists. Jack Kirby, John Romita, Sid Thalberg.
No, Stan, I asked about ReedPop. I don't think there is a ReedPop. ReedPop is, you know, the quirky offshoot of Reed Exhibitions, the company that puts on, for example, the New York Comic Con.
Ah, yes, ReedPop. Well, I haven't seen them draw any of my stories yet, but they're just a terrific group of people. They put the fans first, which I like. I think they're doing a great job. I wish I'd had them 30 years ago.
Obviously, the culture of Comic Cons and pop culture events have really grown since you helped begin the Marvel Age back in the early 60s. What do you think about the greater access fans have to the creators now, thanks to ReedPop events like the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo and the New York Comic Con?
Well, it was a bit of a shameful career back then. I can remember being at dinner parties and someone would ask, "What do you do?" And I'd say, "I write," and then I'd walk away. And then they'd follow me, and they'd say, "Write what?" And I'd say, "I write comic books." And then they'd walk away disgusted.
So you're saying, Stan, the acceptance of working in comics has improved obviously since back then.
I would try to talk to the reader like they wanted to be talked to. If a guy wrote in, "Dear Stan," and he signed it Charles, I'd write back, "Hey, Chuck." I wanted to have an informal style. I tried not to talk down to my readers. Hey, you seem like a smart young guy. Do you think a collection of my reader response pages would sell?
I'm not sure. Probably.
I'll have to get Gil to look into that one. I mean, what does retire even mean? I love working. I love writing. I love meeting people. I'm here with you right now, aren't I? Nuff Said.
Many of your co-creations have become box office gold. That's got to be very gratifying for you.
Oh, they do such a good job. Such a good job. I'm listed as executive producer, but they rarely have me operating a camera or anything like that. Sometimes I worry they might ask me to, move some wires or something. I'm not really sure what that position does, but it sounded like a lot of moving stuff. Nuff Said.
Stan, actually, executive producer, that's more a creative role.
Oh, really? They never told me that.
So obviously the next Captain America movie is highly anticipated, with rumors that Spider-Man is going to make his long-awaited debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, you know, I can remember trying to get a Spider-Man movie off the ground in the 80s. And you know who I thought would have made a wonderful Spider-Man? Corey Feldman. That kid had something. And he was a true believer from way back.
Corey Feldman.
I was so upset we could never get that movie made. Because Corey would have been just remarkable as Peter Parker. I suppose it's better because the effects that they have now are just so incredible. But sometimes I wonder if we had made that Spider-Man movie with Corey Feldman, if it would have done better than Batman, and I could have shown it to my old friend Bobby Kane. Hang loose, heroes!
Well, I know you're very busy and very active, but do you have any memories of the New York Comic Con stand? I mean, I know you're a native New Yorker, and obviously comics began in New York, so...
I'll tell you. I can remember the New York Comic Con in 2007. I was sitting here with all these remarkable, bright young people at the Javits Center, and then the door swings open, and in walks Steve Ditko. I hadn't seen him in 20 years, and he looks so young and so tall, and he strides over, and it wasn't Steve Ditko at all. It was some guy who works for you named Lance Fensterman. Oh, I was so disappointed. I thought me and Steve could have turned out another hit.
Well, Lance Fensterman actually created ReedPop, Stan. He's our global vice president.
Is that right? So he's kind of like the Stan Lee of ReedPop.
That's a fair assessment.
I've got to be honest. I'm not sure what to make of this here. He told me that his name was Greg Poobie, and here you are saying his name was Fensterman.
No, not Greg Poobie. Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah. It's like an affectionate nickname that we call him as the boss. I mean, his name's always been Lance Fensterman.
Grand Poobah? What the hell is that?
It's sort of what the staff calls him.
What schmuck came up with that? That's a crummy name. Now, how about names? Stan the Man Lee, Jack King Kirby, Jazzy John Romita. Those are names, Herbie. Fin Fang Foom, Grumar!
Yeah, those are really classics.